Okay. Doctor Who. Peter Cushing. Daleks Invasion Earth, 2150 AD. I want to read the booklet. I want to read what it says on the booklet for the first movie. Yeah. Where did I leave it? Yeah. The first movie. Okay. So here's the booklet, which I showed before. For the first Peter Cushing Doctor Who movie. Okay, here we go. In 1963, young BBC viewers were introduced to the black and white adventures of a dimension-hopping Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Now that's interesting. They say in here, right away, they say he's from Gallifrey, but I don't think, no, they couldn't have known that at the time. I suppose this booklet, this is for the benefit of the audience, the fans. This is for the benefit of the fans, well, the audience in general, from what we know now. But at the time that this was, at the time that the movie, I already said this. I said this before. We did not know that he was from specifically the planet Gallifrey. We didn't know that in 1960. We didn't know that. No, we didn't know that in 1963. I said that in the last video. A dimension-hopping Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey, who traveled through time and space in his TARDIS, time and relative dimensions in space, naturally, with his young granddaughter. The first... One thing that was interesting, if you comparing the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies, one difference from the show, Doctor Who show, is his granddaughter in the Peter Cushing movies is a lot younger. She's younger in the Peter Cushing movies, the granddaughter. In the show, the Doctor Who show, the Doctor's granddaughter is in high school. Oh, here we go. And here's Susan, the Doctor's, well, in here, Doctor Who's granddaughter, in Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. This is the granddaughter right here. So she's a little girl. I'm not sure about the age, the exact age, but yeah, she's definitely younger than high school. So they changed that for the Peter Cushing movies. Okay, back to the book. All right. The first 4-episode serialized story attracted only a modest audience at best. But the second story, the mutants, but I guess they changed it later to the Daleks. So that was written by Terry Nation, introduced England and eventually the world to a mechanized menace that would be the focus of many stories to come for the next 30 years. Well, it's been more than that, since it was 30 years when this booklet was printed. The Daleks. Not robots in the true sense of the word, since they were mobile containers for a highly mutated life form. These cyborgs, it doesn't feel like an accurate term. I wouldn't call the Daleks cyborgs. That seems silly. Were ruthless in their plans to control the universe, and their first great success was capturing the imagination of an entire nation thanks to Terry Nation in early 1964. 64. Dalek mania swept through England in the form of countless books, board games, and trinkets, and did not escape the notice of producer Milton Subotsky, who, along with partner Max J. Rosenberg, comprised Amicus Productions, like its rival company, Hammer Films. Amicus was known for its adult-oriented horror film output, but both companies were now finding that family-oriented films released in the summer months could be sound financial investments. Even Hammer had released a teenage rock and roll film entitled What a Crazy World in 1963. Doctor Who, and especially the Daleks, were seen as a lucrative financial acquisition by Subotsky, and he was proven correct when Doctor Who and the Daleks, that was the first Peter Cushing movie, first Doctor Who Peter Cushing movie, became one of the top 10 British box office releases of 1965. Certainly it could not have hurt that the film's highly anticipated release was preceded by a 6-week Dalek serial, The Chase, that got the public worked up into a frenzy for its arrival. In fact, the far superior Dalek mechanisms that were created for the film were seen by the public for the first time in the serial that had borrowed them from the completed production. Proof that the real stars of this film are the Daleks, the film transforms the alien Time Lord, here we go, into an eccentric scientific genius grandfather, Peter Cushing, in a droll, well, that's not very nice, a droll comedic performance. Droll. Okay. Who has invented the TARDIS in his backyard, which never adequately explains why it's a police box, does it? Cushing's warm and doddering interpretation was a far cry from the crotchety old bastard, that's what it says right here, that William Hartnell was then embodying in the TV series. As Dalek creator Terry Nation has noted, I thought he was a little too gentle. Peter Cushing. I thought he was too kindly and too warm. The thing that Bill Hartnell had was, as I say, this irascibility. He was a bad-tempered old curmudgeon figure, and I would like to have seen more of that in the character. I suppose, but then he would have been just exactly the same as... What's nice about the different actors who have played the Doctor is they've each been different in a way. They haven't copied the previous one. They've all been different. So it's nice that Peter Cushing, this character, his version of the Doctor slash Doctor Who character, his version is different. It's unique. Whether you want to criticize his characterization or not, it was different. He wasn't just repeating what William Hartnell or later what Patrick Troughton did. He was different. Peter Cushing was his own. He was unique. He was his own version. Okay. Certainly, with the treacherous schedule of working on a TV series, there was no way that Hartnell could have continued on the show and found the time to work on a feature film. Ever the gentleman, Cushing weighed in, saying it was a curious experience taking over Bill Hartnell's role while he was playing it on television, especially as I knew Bill and I knew he would love to have played the Doctor on film. This relatively low-budget production, £180,000, is a triumph of almost psychedelic, blazingly rich colors, captured in an aggressively widescreen style by cinematographer John Wilcox. This was the first time that the viewing public had been able to see the Daleks in color, a fact that publicity materials were at no loss to point out. In fact, the TV Doctor would not begin broadcasting in color till 1971. So that was by what was in this booklet that I just read. That was by Scooter McCrae. So that was interesting. Okay. Now, for the special features, there is a trailer for Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. And there is a poster and still gallery. And then there is also a history of Doctor Who. Okay, so this feature is how the infotext feature on classic Doctor Who story DVDs should be. With the infotext feature, you have to watch the whole story and try to keep up with the text on the screen. That hit my ankle. Okay, so for the infotext, sometimes I'm able to keep up with it. Because sometimes I pause when I'm trying to read the infotext. Special feature, I pause it, and then I press fast forward a couple times, so it's slow motion, so I'm able to keep up with it then, but for sure. But other times when I try to watch it and it goes by too quickly and I'm not able to, because sometimes they put up a whole paragraph and I'm trying to read it and then it's gone, so I got to rewind it. Well, for this one, for the Time Warrior, which I watched recently, I was trying to do that. I was trying to keep up with it because it takes so much longer to read what the infotext says if you're slowing it down with the slow motion. I just want to get it over with, since I'm annoyed by this special feature anyway. So I tried watching it without having it slow motioned, but then it's only up for like, they got a paragraph that's only up for like a second or a couple seconds. Nope. That is not long enough. So this one was especially frustrating with the infotext. But on Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, starring Peter Cushing, that Doctor Who DVD, this special feature of a history of Doctor Who, this feature, because it's the same thing. It's just reading. It's text on the screen. But for it's compared to the infotext. But in both instances, you're reading something that's on the screen. Okay, but for this, on Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, a history of Doctor Who, there's a paragraph of text on screen separate from the movie. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. So this text, it doesn't move until you select forward. Okay. In this feature, the text displays some of the following. All right. The television serial debuted November 23rd, 1963, and ran until 1989. So this DVD was made before Doctor Who returned to television with Christopher Eccleston, before Paul McGann. Well, actually, I don't think... No, it wasn't before Paul McGann. I think it mentions Paul... Yeah, it mentions Paul McGann. Okay. But it was at least before the show Doctor Who was brought back in 2005. Okay, so this was... This box set was released... let's see, I don't know if the year is on here. (2001). This is... (2001). Okay. So a few years before Doctor Who returned to television. Okay. It goes on to describe each actor to play the Doctor in the series up to Sylvester McCoy and also Paul McGann in Doctor Who the movie. And it describes a little about the Doctor's companions, K9, monsters, and the Master. Okay. Both Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies were shot in Technicolor and Techniscope, which was a 35mm film technique that laid each frame horizontally end to end instead of vertically. They were only around... Oh, there were only around 600 movies produced this way. Okay, long video. I just wanted to finish the section that I was talking about there. I'm going to be talking about something else in the next, a different special feature for Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. Okay. Ah, so close. Kind of what I figured. I figured Tuesday. Today is Monday. For me, it's Monday right now. Yeah, I figured I wasn't going to finish this until Tuesday. It's Doctor Who videos for Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, starring Peter Cushing, the Doctor Who movie. Okay. That's it for now.